Hi guys, how's everybody doing? This week we're going to tackle the Bush-Gore election. This was a really pivotal, big deal. All right, we're coming off 8 years of having a Democratic president. Gore was running for a Democrat. He was also huge on environmental policies and doing different things with the environment. His stance was to continue what Clinton was doing without the affair and without the things that he did. Bush was the son of a prior president. Remember George Bush in 1990, who we didn't talk about that long ago. And he was looking to obviously put his stamp on things. What's interesting is that the Bush family has another brother, which is going to play a pivotal part. His name is Jeb, J-E-B Bush. He was the governor of, excuse me, he was the governor of Florida. Now this election was very important for a couple different reasons. Reason number one was that if you take a look at things, it was going to be a really tight election. Things were going to be really, really close, and each guy was going to have to make his way through America and try to do the best they could. But really, everything comes down to one big state, and that state is Florida. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is it such a big deal? Remember that we have the popular vote and we have the electoral college vote. Now, the electoral college is what decides who wins the presidency. You remember the election we just had? Hillary Clinton had more popular votes than Donald Trump, yet Donald Trump was able to win certain states that totaled him with more points than Hillary, so she won, in a nutshell. I'm breaking this down to make it as easy as I can for you guys because I'm not there to show you. So, with that being said, we came down to Florida. Whoever won Florida was going to win the election. And it gets kind of dicey because there are what are called absentee votes. Now, these are votes that you make because you're in the military, you know you're not going to be home, you're stuck in the hospital. Whatever the case may be, you can't make it to the polling booth on the day of the election. So if you know that, you can, about 2 to 3 weeks before the election, ask to get a mail vote sent to you. And in the mail will come and you fill it out and you put it back into the mail. Well, this election was so close in Florida that they had to manually, that's like a person, hand by hand, count the votes. Also, another big problem, as you guys know, in Florida there are a lot of older people retiring there, trying to spend, there's my dog, trying to spend the rest of their life in a nice warm climate. Okay? And that becomes a problem because the ballots that were in Florida were kind of like pieces of paper that I would give you in class, and then they would use this like metal, almost look like a, think about like a metal pencil with a point at the end, and they would poke holes through. Now, a couple different problems here. First of all, the dot was not next to the person; it was kind of like below, so you could easily misinterpret it for somebody else. That's the problem. Second problem was some people weren't able, older people, weren't able to poke the hole all the way through. So these ballots would have, obviously it looked like there was a mark on a person, but we didn't know if they meant to put the mark all the way through or if it was an accident or if it doesn't get counted. So remember, Jeb Bush is the governor of Florida. He originally wants to just obviously help his brother out. Well, this ends up going all the way to the Supreme Court of Florida and then the Supreme Court of the United States. And they eventually decide that unless the ballot is poked all the way through, it can't be counted. By doing this, it changed the course of the election because what ends up happening is Bush wins. So Bush now becomes the first president in a very, very, very long time that wins the presidency without winning the popular vote. So more people in this country didn't want Bush president than did want him president. Right? And he's going to spend the first year with a little bit of a difficult time trying to convince everyone that he's suited to be president. Now, at this point, we're almost about 5 minutes in, so I'm going to stop and give you guys a question to respond to, and then tomorrow we'll continue this discussion on what Bush did during the election. Have a great day.